Alrighty, so welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about how you can set up your charts to look just like ICTs and utilize certain tools that, as a beginner trader or even as a veteran with ICT concepts, it's going to be able to be easier for you to understand what he's explaining, and even in your trading journey overall. So when you open up TradingView, it's going to probably look like this for a lot of most default users, and really the first thing you want to do is get rid of a lot of these distractions and things that are not going to let you see price clearly and cleanly. So the first thing is to go to your settings tab. We're going to start on symbol, and the first thing is this colors bar based on previous close has to be turned off. This cannot be on, and the reason for this is that, especially for new day opening gaps and understanding price action properly, you have to have this off, and ICT talks about this as well. The bodies, I honestly would keep them the same as you have there, and I'm going to put this black. The borders are going to be all black. You're going to change everything to black, as well as the wicks. This one, I just keep this off. You can turn it on if you want, and here's a little bit of an explanation here, but I simply keep that off. And most likely ICT is probably also going to keep this off as well. Your precision, you're going to keep it as default, and the time zone is always New York, so you could be located somewhere else, but it doesn't matter. That because most of the time you're going to want to always stay, I would say 10 times out of 10, you're going to always want to keep it at New York time zone, because ICT keeps it at New York time zone. And then going on to the status line here, you can customize this as how you want it. It's just really talking about this up here. If you want less things or more things on here, that's totally fine, but we'll just keep all this standard for now. So these are going to be the settings for scales and lines. So this all can stay standard. The only difference is you're going to be changing this symbol to value. Instead of having the name and line, you just want the value, so you don't have to see the line. Now, for those of you who may want to, you can leave that on, but personally, I would take that off so that way you can understand what you're looking at on price. And then we're going to go to canvas, and from canvas, you're going to go to where it says background, select solid instead of gradient, because gradient isn't going to really give you a cleaner look on your chart, and ICT keeps it always clean. Selecting the second option from there, and then you also have grid lines. Remove those, change it by simply turning off the opacity. Crosshair, you can select however you want. You could just put black, which is totally fine. No watermark if that's up to you. Text always black. Lines, you can keep that off, and then everything else can be standard. And then onto the trading tab, you're going to want to always keep this buy and sell button activated, as well as instant order placement, so that way if you need to quickly exit a position, instead of clicking the X, you can also click up here as well. Notification, that's fine. You can keep it as all events, positions, and everything else here you can always keep. That way you can see how much actual money it is, or you could also put it in ticks. For psychological reasons, you could put it in ticks, but this way you see your position when you place it, and it's a lot cleaner to understand. And events, you can turn everything off. I would probably only keep the just the futures contract expiration, and then everything else is fine, as well as your alerts. And then you're going to see the volume bars down here. To simply remove that, you go to your object tree, and you simply hit the remove button there, and then you would just simply have all of this cleaned up. That way you don't see any kind of volume bar or anything else. And to have this toolbar down here like this, you simply have to hit the favorite right here, and it would simply come up. That way it gets added to your favorites, and you can drag and drop whichever ones you want. And these are the ones that I use, but you would just go through each one and you would see which ones would you need to utilize. But for the most part, you're going to need the trend line, the horizontal ray, the Fibonacci placement tool, long and short positions if need be, and then everything else is personalized. Going now to the indicators that are going to help you, the first thing to always get is actually have it all favorited, all the ones that I recommend, but ideally you want to use the ICT everything, and if you also want, you can also use sessions. But this ICT everything is going to have practically everything you need, as it states in the title, for you to utilize. So going in here, we're going to double click and open it from the object pane tree. Like I said before, so time zone always as New York. You can hide it above any time that you don't want it showing on. Then you want to do show today's session only, unless you want it to show the last 4 weeks or all of the sessions, all of the days. You also have show session highlighting, and you can also drop down the session, but I actually have a different way of utilizing this instead of putting it on your chart like this. because if you were to activate it, it would show up like that, but I feel like that adds a little bit more of a distraction. So I have a fix for that. You turn all those off, turn all these off. You have the midnight opening price. And you can customize it based on the colors that you want to choose, and then you turn everything else off. All this other stuff, you turn it off. Leave these on and follow these exact settings here, like this and like that. And then you save it, but make sure to follow all these settings. And then from here, you go to indicators again, and then I use the sessions by Nephew Sam. And the settings for this one, you're gonna make sure first it's gonna pop up like this. What you're gonna want to actually do is you're gonna want to move it to a new pane below and drag it down to the smallest point. And the settings I have are these. These are gonna be the settings you just guys have to copy and paste them onto your chart. And once you have those settings on there, the reason why I use these instead of highlighting is that way you see price cleaner here, but the sessions are below indicating, which session you're trading on. That way you're able to focus on price action and not get confused by necessarily a color overlay on the chart. And as you can see here, for example, I have the 10 to 11 a.m. silver bullet hour, the lunch 12 to 1 p.m. session there, and then I also have the Asian session as well, right here, from 8:30 to 9:30. So that's really all you need, just that midnight open, these sessions, and then keeping your charts clean. That way you're able to understand price much easier than having it with tons of indicators and tons of different things at once. And I know some people also utilize the new day and new week opening gap, but the only also with this is that it could also get a little cluttered. Like if you put all three of them, I'd rather just personally put it myself instead of utilizing the indicator for this one. But that's pretty much it for it. That's how you would set up your charts to look like ICT. And from there, anything else would just be personal customization as you would like it. Alrighty, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.